கிடைத்த வரமே பாரமான குந்தியாக திருமதி லதா கோபிநாத்.
A character in Mahabharata who went through an array of emotional and physical hardships, whose life was a saga of motherly love, duty, sacrifice, perseverance, and courage. Yes, you have guessed it right. Kunthi Devi, the queen of King Pandu of Hastinapur, and the mother of the 5 mighty Pandavas, and the most generous Kavachakundala Karna. My life was a path of obstacles, struggles, challenges, and setbacks stemming from societal constraints, untimely losses, and the intense rivalry between Kauravas and Pandavas. Born as Preeta to King Shurasena and Marisha of Mathura, I was handed over as an infant to King Kunthi Bhoja, who was childless and a cousin of my father. Later, when I learnt about it, I felt it as an humiliating experience to be given away as a piece of property. When I could have grown up harmoniously in the company of my siblings, I led a lonely childhood in my adopted father's palace, though he showered me with love and affection. During sage Durvasa's visit to our palace, I was entrusted the duty of looking after him and catering to his needs. Impressed by my selfless service and dedication, sage Durvasa gave me a boon, a divine mantra, by which I could invoke any god for a child. Out of curiosity and to test the efficiency of the mantra, I invoke Sun God, who blessed me with a baby boy with the glow of sunshine and a protective armor of Kavachakundala. I was stunned. Is this a blessing or a curse? My mind was in turmoil, as if 100 sea waves lashed upon me. I have to abandon my newborn to save me from the social stigma and to protect my father's honor. So, with a heavy heart, I wrapped the baby in my sari, placed it inside a basket set up with soft cushions and lotus flowers, placed some expensive jewelry to indicate his noble birth, and set him afloat the Aswa river, a decision that caused me lifelong guilt and anguish. What an irony! I myself was not brought up by my own mother, and now my son Karna is abandoned by his own mother to be looked after by adopted parents Adhirathan and Radha. Later, I got married to King Pandu of Hastinapur by Swayamvar. With great expectations, I stepped into the threshold of Hastinapur, but my happiness was short-lived, as King Pandu had to leave for a war campaign to expand his kingdom. Though he returned victorious, his marriage to Princess Madri of the Madra kingdom disappointed and shocked me. I soon overcame the fact and accepted Madri as my younger sister. Madri and I could not bear children through Pandu, as he was a victim of a curse by sage Kindama that he would die the moment he tried to have physical relationship with a woman. Sage Kindama and his wife were accidentally shot and killed by King Pandu while they were in the guise of a deer making love in the forest. Ashamed and filled with remorse and guilt, King Pandu renounced his throne and kingdom and left for the forest along with Madri and me. Later, by using my divine mantra, I invoked Lord Yama, Lord Vayu, and Lord Indra to be blessed with 3 sons, Yudhishthira, Bhima, and Arjuna. I shared the divine mantra with Madri, who invoked the Ashwini gods to be blessed by twin boys, Nakula and Sahadeva. We nurtured our 5 sons with great love and affection. King Pandu's sudden death when he succumbed to his desires for Madri was another blow for me. Madri, feeling responsible for this incident and driven with guilt, ended her life by jumping into the funeral pyre of King Pandu, thus leaving me alone in the forest with my 5 sons. I courageously took up the responsibility of bringing up my children, instilling in them righteous moral values. On returning to Hastinapur as a widow, my sons and I faced constant animosities and conspiracies from the Kauravas, led by Duryodhana and his uncle Shakuni. I lived in perpetual fear for the safety of my sons, witnessing several murder attempts, including the poisoning of my son Bhima and the burning of the lakh house, Lakshagriha. We were forced to live in a hostile palace where our rights were often overlooked. But I advised my sons to be patient, forgiving, tolerant, and follow the path of Dharma in the face of all adversities. After the burning of the lakh house, we spent several years in the forest, enduring many struggles and hardships. It was at this time that my misunderstanding resulted in the Pandavas sharing Draupadi as a common wife, a situation which caused me terrible distress and guilt. I had deep respect and great love for Draupadi and saw her as a unifying force of my 5 sons. Though King Dhritarashtra handed over Kandaprastha to Yudhishthira, which was later renamed as Indraprastha, it was taken back by the Kauravas through deceit by a rigged game of dice. The Pandavas were punished and banished into the forest for a period of 13 years of exile, during which I was not allowed to accompany them. I had to stay separated from them. The Kauravas, refusing to give the rightful property to Pandavas, led to the Kurukshetra war. I lived with the agony of knowing that my eldest son Karna was fighting on the side of Kauravas against his own brothers. An attempt to reveal his identity and persuade him to join the Pandavas met with refusal, although he promised me that he would kill only Arjuna and spare my 4 other sons. I was totally shattered. Had I revealed Karna's identity to the Pandavas, the war could have been evaded. For Yudhishthira would have retired to the forest along with his brothers after handing over the kingdom to Karna. But I wanted the Pandavas to fight for their rightful property, to execute the duty of the Kshatriyas, and to avenge the insult and humiliation meted out to Draupadi in the courtroom. I could never forgive them for that. The Kurukshetra war, though led to the victory of Pandavas, brought intense sorrow to me as I lost my eldest son Karna and many grandsons in the war. Embracing Karna's dead body, I wept bitterly, lamenting over my helplessness and the injustice inflicted upon him. A grief-stricken Yudhishthira cursed all all women, including me, that they would never be able to keep any secret due to my lifelong concealment of Karna's birth, leading to his tragic death, a failing in dharma. After the Kurukshetra war, I asked Lord Krishna for a boon of calamities and sorrows so that I could always remember him and see him, believing that only in sorrows does one truly remember God and seek his protection. I accompanied a grief-stricken Gandhari and Dhritarashtra to the forest, feeling it my duty to serve them and also as a penance for my wrongdoings. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to portray Kunthi, whose moral courage, sacrifices, and silent endurance define the epic in subtle but profound ways. Her inner strength, decision-making, and strong devotion to Dharma made her one of the most noblest maternal figures in mythology.